I'm Jeanette Smith, your empowerment coach. I'm a certified life strategist and mindset coach, and I am always trying to bring you the empower pills that'll help you live your best life. I want to share with you actually a hard conversation, not gone wrong. Oh, hi, Auntie. I love that. Good to see you guys. But it actually happened to me tonight, and it didn't go badly, but it could have gone better. So hard conversations, why is that a part of what we want to talk about as dream builders? Because anytime you all, and you know I love the hearts, kiss my cheeks. Anytime we start building dreams, hey Monique, you're always going to get to the border of one level of a dream and need to cross over. Usually at that point, when you get right up to the border, you're going to meet with opposition. People either don't know how to handle your new positioning. They're scared by it because what does this now mean to me? Thanks for sharing, Monique. Or, you know, they've just got some hesitation about you doing what you're going to do. So then the hard conversations come, right? It could be people or family members who are concerned about your money. Are you spending our money on pursuing this dream? What are you doing? Thanks, Candy Shop, for sharing. What does this role mean for me? If you move up and move on, where's my role in your life? There's so many different reasons why having a hard conversation can come into play as dream builders. And then, just in terms of life, I'm a human being, you're a human being. Eventually we're going to crash. We're going to have a hard conversation. So wouldn't you like to know how to do it right and well versus blowing stuff up and then having to go back and collect pieces of carcasses and trying to put your relationships back together or put, these bonds and things back together. So that's what I want to share with you today. Let's talk about having hard conversations. And if you guys hear things that resonate with you, give me kisses on the cheek. Let me know that you're with me, okay? Thanks for chocolate kisses. Okay, the first thing, and this is really important, is what is your intention behind having this conversation? You've got to know what you're wanting going in. What is your intention? You got to figure that out. Because if you just walk into a landmine with somebody, just wanting to blur out what it is you want to get off your chest, that's not a conversation. That's just you spewing on somebody. So sort yourself out first. Sort yourself out and figure out what it is that you really want to accomplish in the hard conversation. Set aside some time. Now, here's where I'm going to juxtapose what happened with me tonight with best case scenario. So I was at dinner with a bunch of friends. So it's probably about 6 or 7 of us, okay? And I'm sitting next to a person that I know pretty soon a hard conversation is going to come up just because we haven't communicated in a while. So we're at dinner having a group conversation, and then the person turns to me and says something that takes us out of that conversation into the hard conversation. So it wasn't a shift. It wasn't a segue. It was just kind of like a blah, 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 blah. All right. That's not setting up time. Hey, Letitia, good to see you. That's right. Okay. So you kind of just go, we're into this hard conversation. You got to set aside time. It's got to be intentional. All right. That's why I want you to sort yourself out before you have the hard conversation, because if you want it to go well, and well doesn't mean that everybody walks away and we're lovey-dovey. Well means you communicate your side well. You feel good about how you communicated what you said, and they said what they had to say. And as an adult, you can receive it, choose not to receive it, but you walk away feeling like, well, we both said what we needed to say. We did it with dignity and respect, right? So you set aside time. Then you got to frame up the conversation gracefully. That's why getting understanding is important. When you're going for getting understanding, what's going to be important to you is how you frame the conversation. Again, if you just want to get somebody told, you really don't care if you're getting understanding. You're spewing. That's not how we operate dream builders, because what you're pouring out there, you're going to get that back in some shape, form, or fashion. I don't want you to sow that. I don't want you to put that out there. That's not what I want you to get back. So practice. Some people won't even have the hard conversation. They run, right? We hide, right? We just avoid. Passive aggressive. I'm going to be mad about something, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm mad about. You have to try to figure it out, and I don't want to talk to you. It's time out for that. This is 2017. We're going to do things a little differently because you can do this. You can be empowered with the right tools to have the hard conversation. So when you frame up the conversation in your mind, think of it in terms of grace. There could be some miscommunication that has gone on. And so what you're thinking, the other person was thinking, or their motives could be wrong. So operate in grace. You also want grace, okay? So frame the conversation gracefully. Figure all this out before you get to with that person. Now, I don't know if my friend tonight did that. Could be that she just was inspired in that moment to just break out of the group conversation and have this hard conversation. I'm not sure. But I was open. I didn't shut it down and say, we're not doing this here. I just kind of tried to stay open to it. Okay. State your issue. All right. Again, you're trying to give understanding. A lot of times there are three things that will throw us off. And let me just give you those up front. These are noteworthy, which means if you ever take notes on coach scopes, this would be your time to drop your pen or pencil and drop these three things. These three things can sabotage a hard conversation. One, your emotions. Your emotions can prevent you from having a productive hard conversation. Why? Because you get all up in your feelings, and then it's all about your anxieties, your fears, your all of that. And it just spews out. You're saying things out of anxiety, fear, stress, overprotectiveness. All those things can come into play. So don't let your emotions throw you off. The second thing that can throw you off is your ego. Nobody wants to look bad. Now, I will tell you that I felt my ego kind of trying to speak up in the conversation tonight, if I'm just honest with you guys. And I always keep it 100 and keep it honest with you. Because we're having a group dinner. And then I turn and I'm instantly in a hard conversation. And it's not like we're whispering. Okay. It's not like we were whispering. It was kind of this kind of regular conversation level. So I could feel myself feeling like, okay, now what's everybody else going to, although they carried on their conversation, you could still tell that they were either trying to engage us into their conversation or try not to hear what we were, but it's another conversation. So I had to check my ego because the most important thing that I could do is stay present and try to ride this out. All right. Now, here's a tool for you. If you're not comfortable in that situation, you could always say to somebody,
you know what? This is really important. I want to have this conversation. Do you mind if we do it later?
That's one way you can do that. And three, what I'm about to talk about, the environment. Okay, right? You guys know, like I do, you're going to have one conversation with somebody alone quite differently than when you're in front of people. Okay? Am I right? Okay, I see some hearts. If you feel that way too, if you understand or you've ever been in that position, yeah, you're going to have a different conversation because when eyes are on you, it brings a whole nother level of pressure and societal pressure and peer pressure. And, now I got to figure out, how do I look in front of everybody else? What are they thinking that I'm thinking that we're thinking? All of that. And so that's why you want to be very protective about how you decide and when you decide to have these hard conversations. All right. After you ask clarifying questions. Ask clarifying questions. Right? You like that? Good. I'm glad you like that tip. Ask clarifying questions and then listen, because here's what happens when we have hard conversations. Your heart starts beating faster. Because why? You go into fight or flight mode, right? On the inside, you're putting your dukes up in case they come at you with some sort of, little jab, verbal jab. You can, Kung Fu Panda. It's fight or flight. You got to keep yourself calm so that you can listen. 99% of the time, hard conversations go wrong because of miscommunication, ill communication. Even in my field of media, right? Me, the anchor, you, the viewer, you have two ends of a communication process, right? You're the receiver. I'm the transmitter. I transmit a message to you. Then we flip the roles, and now you're the transmitter and I'm the receiver. Well, the same principle applies in a conversation. Transmitter, receiver. That means you have to receive what I'm saying. Doesn't mean you have to receive it as true. It means you have to listen to what I'm saying. You can't hear what I'm saying if you are preparing your next spiel. You can't listen to what I'm saying if all you're focused on is how I'm feeling about this right now. Right? Now, I'm not saying you can't absorb all of that, but you have to be committed to processing on multiple planes. I hear you. Ooh, I feel that, but let me stay present. Ooh, that didn't feel good. Let me hear it and stay present. Take it all in. Press pause, because our natural inclination is to, you say something, I want to respond. I want to respond right now. Just press pause. You'll have all the time to say what you need to say. Wouldn't you like to be skillful in how you use your words? Wouldn't you like to be poised in how you use your words? Wouldn't you like to still go in and accomplish your intent of getting understanding and giving understanding? So it's really important that you utilize that tool of pressing pause. And then after you listen to their response, and this may go back and forth like we did at the table, there was a little back and forth asking questions. Good. Yes, you would. Good, Letitia. I'm glad to see that. Asking questions, clarifying questions, listening. And I can't say I agreed with everything the person said. I was caught off guard by some of it. But I also chose, because of the environment, not to dig as deep as I normally would. So now I can go back and decide how much more unpacking do I want to do. I didn't want to do it at the table in front of everybody. Okay. But what I hope I gave was that person the grace and space to say whatever it was they needed to say that they felt like they needed to say right there at dinner, without me going, well, I would have never had this conversation at dinner. Well, how I felt. I feel much better about how I handle this. Now, take me back 10, 15 years. It could have been different. It could have been different, because I love to communicate. So you say something, I'm going to hear you, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. That's my motive now is so different. And I hope that I'm translating that to you all. When you're having a hard conversation, keep your motive and intention pure, and your quality of communication will improve. The outcome will also improve. And let me say something about outcomes. Don't be so married to the outcome that you sabotage the hard conversation. Aw, thank you, sis. Don't be so married to how you want this conversation to go. Like, I'm going to say this, and then they need to say this, or this. And then that will let me say this, and then they say that, and then we're done. Because it may not go like that. Everyone has free will. So they may not say what you think they should say. They may not feel about it how you think they should feel about it. So what are you going to do with that? You can't be so married to the outcome that you sabotage having an excellent quality level of hard conversation. The only outcome you should really kind of focus on is being able to give understanding and get understanding. And that's where I left the hard conversation tonight. I didn't agree. Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad you guys, it was resonating with you. I didn't kind of agree with how we had it. I didn't agree with where we had it. I didn't even agree with everything they said. But I tried to show grace. I tried to give grace. I tried to be graceful in my responses. And then lastly, and this can be tough, you're going to have to be a measure of vulnerable. I know we want to be defensive so that if someone says something I don't like, you can go, psh, slap it down, psh, bang it. But there's a measure. Now, this is for people that you care about. Because let's be honest, you really don't care how you're having a hard conversation with somebody that you don't really care about how they're feeling about it. You should still, if it's like in the workplace, you should still have a professional hard conversation. You may not care about their feelings as much as you do a family member or somebody else, but you should care about the impact of the outcome of that conversation, because it could have negative ramifications for you. So you should always care about the outcome. All right. But at the end of the day, you're defensive these days. Yeah. I mean, we all go through that. It takes a measure. Let me tell you the power of submission to what's greater than you. There's nothing anyone can say that could truly ever kill you. There's nothing that anyone could ever say that could truly kill you. You always get to decide what someone else's words mean to you. You always get to decide what someone else's words mean to you. If someone says you're stupid, that's stupid, what you said was stupid, that doesn't make it true. That could be their interpretation. It could also be their only response because you said something so intelligent, they just don't even know what to say back. So you don't have to receive that as truth. That's why you don't have to respond to it out of anger or anything. I mean, you could, I'm not saying don't feel anger or don't be appalled. I'm saying how you respond out of that is what's important. You always get to choose and decide how you'll internalize what someone else's words are. That's why racial slurs, sexism, any isms that are going on in the world right now, of things that people say, they don't have to have that kind of impact on you because you don't have to receive them. Know who you are. And even though you don't have everything figured out, know this: you are valuable. You are worth everything in the world because God put you here. You wouldn't be here if there was no purpose for you. So just because you don't know what your purpose is, just because you haven't figured it all out, does not mean that your value goes down. Know your worth. Don't set yourself up to receive anything in 2017. It's not befitting of you. You may feel down on yourself sometimes, but that doesn't give somebody the right to say stuff to you to make you feel even worse about yourself. Everybody goes through a low point. And I don't even know why I'm off on this tangent. Evidently, somebody needs to hear this tonight or on the replay. But you don't have to receive someone's negativity, negative words, low self-image, low thinking, limiting thoughts, beliefs. You don't have to receive any of that. And I just feel really strongly tonight that I need to keep hitting this. That does not have to be your truth. So putting it back in terms of hard conversations, just because someone says to you, that's stupid, that's dumb, I don't even know why you feel like that. Just press pause. Here's a couple of tools. One could be conversation tools. One could be, I get it if you don't get it, and that's cool. And then move on. It's not stupid because that's how I'm processing the moment, but let's move on. You don't ever have to receive it just because somebody dishes it up to you. All right? Know that. And I promise you, this is kind of like riding a bike. You got to get on it and do it. And the next time you get on that hard conversation bike, it's going to be even easier. And the next time it'll be even easier. And the next time it'll be even easier until you get on that hard conversation bike and it's all muscle memory. You don't even have to think about it. Okay? I hope I've shared something tonight that'll help you. I hope I've shared something tonight that has freed you in the realm of having hard conversations. And as always, if you guys ever have any questions about anything, always inbox me or hit me up. I'll be glad to have, a little one-on-one with you about how to make this work and be a practical seed in your life to help you get better results for better living. All right? As always, I love you all to life, and we'll talk soon.